Hello everyone, this is Payal Vacha. In this video, we will discuss about history of pharmaceutical microbiology. These are the list of contents. First one, what is spontaneous generation? Next one is Francisco Redis experiments with meat, golden age of microbiology, germ theory, scientist, and last one is spontaneous generation versus biogenesis. All the content we will discuss in this video. First of all, what is spontaneous generation? The idea that life could arise spontaneously from non-living matter. That is called as a spontaneous generation. That means living matter that is arise from non-living matter, that is called as a spontaneous generation. Let's take one example. Toads and mice both are living matter and that is arise from soil, that is a non-living matter. Until the 18th century, this belief existed. Up to the 18th century, this belief is existed. In 1668, Francisco Redi, first one to disprove the spontaneous generation. What is spontaneous generation? Spontaneous generation refers to a body of thought on the ordinary formation of living organism without decay from similar organism. That means the theory of spontaneous generation, which held that the living creature could arise from non-living matter. That is called as a spontaneous generation. Up to 18th century, it is believed that. And in 1668, first scientist Francisco Redi, he disproved this spontaneous generation by performing one experiment. Francisco Redi's experiments with meat. Francisco Redi, scientist, which performed one experiment to disprove the spontaneous generation. He performed the experiment with meat. First figure, which indicated that maggots formation is occur and the beaker is uncovered. Second one is no maggots formation is occur while beaker is covered. And he disproved that maggots arise from decaying meat. That means Francisco Redi performed one experiment with meat to perform the to disprove the spontaneous generation. So two beaker, in first beaker maggots is formed and it is uncovered. Second one is no maggots formation while it is covered. What is maggots? Maggots is the larva of fly. It is applied in particular to the larva of flies such as house fly, cheese flies, and blowflies rather than larva of nematocera such as mosquitoes. And how maggots are formed? Maggots are the larva stage of the common housefly. Flies are attracted to food and other similar type of rubbish. They lay their eggs on the rubbish and these hatch into maggots. The maggots form pupae and hatch into the fly. He disproved that maggots is arise from decaying meat. That means Francisco Redi performed an experiment and he disproved that maggots or larvae, that is arise from rotting or decomposing through the action of bacteria and fungi. Next one is Italian priest Lazzaro Spallanzani, Spallanzani in 1765. He showed that heating a sealed flask of meat broth, which prevented the growth of organism. That means Italian priest Lazzaro, he performed an experiment and he shows that heating of sealed flask of meat containing broth, which prevent the growth of microorganism, and skeptics which claim that the lack of oxygen which prevent the growth. That means Italian priest which perform a one experiment. He take one sealed flask and in sealed flask take a meat broth which prevent the growth of organism, and final result is growth of growth of microorganism is prevented by the lack of oxygen because flask is in a sealed form. Golden age of microbiology. Louis Pasteur, he finally disproved spontaneous generation after many years of debate. What is spontaneous generation? We already discussed. Spontaneous generation means living matter that is arise from non-living matter. So Louis Pasteur, he finally disproved the spontaneous generation after many years of debates with many scientists. Next one is Robert Koch, which gives the idea about germ theory and other pioneers in microbiology. That is the golden age of microbiology. One by one, we will discuss. First one, Louis Pasteur in 1861, he disproved the spontaneous generation finally. Boiled the broth in long S-shaped necked flask that is unsealed. So in 1861, Louis Pasteur performed one experiment to disprove the spontaneous generation, and with the help of this experiment, he finally disproved spontaneous generation. He performed one experiment. In the experiment, boiled broth in long S-shaped necked flask. So in this, what is broth? Broth means the liquid medium which containing protein and other nutrients for the culture of bacteria, that is called as a broth. So boiled broth in long S-shaped necked flask. Broth is present in S-shaped necked flask that is unsealed and it remain sterile. How boiled broth is remain sterile if it is unsealed? He proved that microorganisms are present in air, but air does not create microbes. And that is the beginning of the golden age of microbiology. That means Louis Pasteur, which performed experiment in 1861, and he finally disproved the spontaneous generation. He performed an experiment. In experiment, broth is boiled in long S-shaped necked flask, and flask is unsealed. Flask is unsealed. Further, it remains sterile. How it is possible? He proved that microorganisms are present in air, but air doesn't create any types of microorganism. And that is the beginning of golden age of microbiology. That is the figure of experiment. Swan neck flask experiment that disproved the spontaneous generation. In first step, broth is added into the swan neck flask. Second one is broth is boiled which is present in swan, neck, flask, and finally, no any type of microorganism is present in uncovered flask. In 1861, Pasteur proved that microorganisms are present in non-living matter. Microbes can be destroyed by heat. That means in 1861, Louis Pasteur he proved that the microorganism that is present in the non-living matter and microbes easily destroyed by heat and by maintaining aseptic technique. What is aseptic technique? Aseptic technique means using practices and procedure to prevent contamination from the pathogen. And it involves applying the strictest rules to minimize the risk of infection. Healthcare workers uses the aseptic technique in a surgery room, clinicals, microbiological lab, etc. So what is aseptic technique? Aseptic technique, it is a one type of procedure which prevents the contamination from pathogen. Next one is fermentation mediated by yeast. What is fermentation? So fermentation is the chemical breakdown of substances by the bacteria, yeast or other microorganism, typically involving effervescence and giving of a heat. That is called as a fermentation. So fermentation mediated by yeast, that is not mediated by air, and pasteurization to prevent wine and beer spoilage by bacteria. What is pasteurization? Pasteurization is a process in which water and certain packaged and non-packaged food are treated with mild heat, usually to less than 100 degrees centigrade, to eliminate pathogen and extended shelf life. So pasteurization, it is a one type of process in which water, some type of milk, fruit juice are treated with mild heat. Why? All the types of formulation, water, milk, it is treated with mild heat because, and it is usually, mild heat is usually to less than 100 degrees centigrade. Pasteurization is performed to eliminate the pathogens and extended shelf life. So, finally, in 1861, Pasteur, Louis Pasteur, he performed one experiment and he proved that microorganism that is present in the non-living matter, microbes are easily destroyed with the help of heat, with the help of aseptic techniques, and fermentation that is mediated by yeast, not mediated by air, and last one is pasteurization, which prevent wine and beer spoilage by bacteria. In 1857, Louis Pasteur saves the Francis wine. How? It is occur good wine which contain the yeast and sour wine which contain bacterium. Bacteria that use alcohol and produce acetic acid spoil wine by turning it to a vinegar acetic acid. That means Louis Pasteur which saves the Francis wine. How it is possible? Like first stage is good wine which contain the yeast. Second is sour wine which contain the bacterium, and bacteria that uses the alcohol and it produces the acetic acid spoil wine by it is turning into the vinegar, or it is also called as acetic acid. He reasoned that if wine is heated to destroy the harmful bacteria, it wouldn't spoil and that is called as pasteurization. And finally, Louis Pasteur gave the reason: if wine is heated to destroy any bacteria, it wouldn't spoil the wine. And this process is known as pasteurization process. What is germ theory? A plethora of observant researchers had already conceptualized and opined rather vehemently the much applauded and widely accepted germ theory of disease even before Pasteur established experimentally that microbes happen to be the root causes of several human dreadful diseases. And later on, various other scientists supported and proved the aforesaid germ theory in one way or the other as stated under. So first of all, what is germ theory? Germ theory of disease is the currently accepted scientific theory for many diseases. It stated that the microorganism that is known as a pathogen or a germ which can lead to a disease or it produce a disease, and this small organism too small to see without magnification invade the humans, other animals and other living host. That means germ theory of disease is currently acceptable scientist theory for the many diseases, and it finally stated that microorganism that is also called as pathogen or a germ which can lead to the disease. First scientist Girolamo Fracastro in 1483 to 1553 advocated that the certain disease might be caused by virtue of invisible organism that is transmitted from one subject to another. That means Girolamo scientist said that the certain diseases it might be caused by the invisible microorganism that is transmitted from one subject to the another subject. An invisible microorganism only see under the microscope. Next one is Plensis. In 1762, he stated that the living microbes or agents are the ultimate cause of disease. But at the same time, add his views that different germs were responsible for different alignments. That means Plensis in 1762 he stated that the living microorganism or any living creature are ultimate the reason of disease. But at the same time, add his view and he stated that the different germs that are responsible for different alignments. Next one is Oliver Wendell Holmes. In 1809 to 1894, he suggested that the puerperal fever was highly contagious in nature. Besides, it was perhaps caused by a germ which is carried eventually from one mother to another, either by midwives or a physician. That means Oliver stated that the puerperal fever was highly contagious in nature and it was perhaps or it was caused by germ that is carried out from one mother to another mother, either by midwives, mid person or any physician. Next one is Ignaz Philipp Semmelweis. In 1880 to 1865, He stated that the usage of antiseptic, especially in obstetrical practices. So he stated that use of antiseptic to prevent or to cure any disease. Joseph Lister in 1890 he stated that made known in England the importance of antisepsis, which was subsequently fully appreciated by the medical professional all and sundry. That means Joseph Lister said that importance of antisepsis, which was subsequently fully appreciated by medical professional. And Robert Koch in 1843 to 1910 he discovered the typical bacilli having a squarish end in the blood sample of cattle that had died due to the anthrax. So Robert Koch will discover the one type of bacilli that have a squarish type of end in the blood sample of cattle and that is died due to the anthrax. Koch's modus operandi. Koch adopted that the following steps to isolate microbes causing anthrax. So Koch, which adopted some types of steps to isolate the microbes which causing the anthrax. Which type of microbes? First of all, these bacteria were duly grown in culture in the laboratory. Next one, bacteria examined microscopically so as to ascertain only one specific type was present. So in first step, first of all these bacteria, they are duly grown in the culture in the laboratory. Second one is bacteria examined with the help of microscope so as to ascertain only one specific type. So which type of microorganism is present that is easily identified by with the help of microscope. Injected bacteria into other animals to observe whether they got also infected and subsequently develop a clinical symptoms of anthrax. So Koch develops various steps to isolate the microbes which causing the anthrax. In first step, Koch in first step, Koch scientist. First of all, these bacteria were duly grown in the culture that is already present in the laboratory. In next step, bacteria that is examined with the help of microscope to particularly identify specific type it was present or not. And and next step is injected bacteria into the other animals to observe. Inject the bacteria into the other animals to observe that whether they are infected and subsequently they develop a clinical symptoms of anthrax or not. Isolated microbes from experimentally infected animals squarely matched with those obtained originally from sheep that died due to infection of anthrax. Finally, the isolated microbes formed from the experimental infected animals and it is obtained from sheep and that died due to the infection of anthrax. Scientist list. First one is evidence from the literature reveals that Antony van Leeuwenhoek's in 1632 to 1723 lucid explanations with regard to the ubiquitous found everywhere the nature of the microbes practically enabled. Next one is Louis Pasteur in 1822 to 1895, almost after 2 centuries to discover the involvement of this microorganism in a variety of fermentation reaction procedure that eventually permitted the Robert Koch in 1843 to 1910. That means Antony van Leeuwenhoek in 1632 to 1723. Lucid explanation with regard to the ubiquitous that is found in everywhere. That is the nature of microbes practically enabled. And Louis Pasteur, almost after 2 centuries, to discover the involvement of this type of microorganism in a varieties of fermentations reaction, and that eventually permitted Robert Koch. Theobald Smith, Pasteur, and many others to establish and ascertain the intimate relationship of various type of microbes with a wide range of dreadful human diseases. In fact, Robert Koch bagged the most prestigious Nobel Prize in year 1905 for his spectacular and wonderful discovery for the isolation and characterization of bacteria which causes anthrax and tuberculosis. So Robert Koch have a Nobel Prize. Robert Koch bagged a Nobel Prize in year 1905 for his wonderful discovery, and he discovered the isolation and characterization of bacteria which causes the anthrax and tuberculosis types disease. Next one, observations of microorganism by several researchers. First one is Roger Bacon in 2020 to 2092. First ever postulated that a disease is caused by invisible living creature. So, Roger scientist in 22, 2012 to 22 to 12 to 1920, he stated that the living creature or first ever postulated that the disease it is caused by invisible living creature. So disease it is caused by invisible microorganism. Girolamo, we already discussed Girolamo and Anton van Plensis. These two researchers also made similar observation, assertion, and suggestions, but without any experimental, concrete evidence or a proof. Roger stated that the disease it is caused by invisible creature, invisible living creature. And Girolamo and Anton van both are the researcher. Both made similar observation, assertion, and suggestions, but without performing experiment. Next one is Athanasius Kircher in 1601 to 1680 made a reference of these worms that are practically invisible to the naked eye and found in decaying meat, milk, bodies, and diarrheal secretion. That means that means a Kircher scientist will made the reference of these worms, worms that are practically invisible to the naked eye. So worms are easily not visible with the help of naked eye and that are found in the decaying meat, milk, bodies and diarrheal secretion. Next one, Antony van Leeuwenhoek in 1632 to 1723 initiated the Herculean task of microscope making through his inherent hobby of lens making. So, Antony van Leeuwenhoek initiated the task of making the microscope because his hobby of making a lens. During his lifespan, stretching over to 89 years, he meticulously designed more than 250 microscopes, of which the most powerful one could magnify about 200 to 300 times only. So, Antony van Leeuwenhoek, during his lifespan, over to 89 years, he designed more than 250 microscopes, of which have the most powerful feature: spontaneous generation versus biogenesis. So, what is spontaneous generation? We already discussed. What is biogenesis? Biogenesis means the synthesis of substances by a living organism, and the hypothesis that living matter, that is, arise only from non-living matter. So, so that spontaneous generation and biogenesis both are different. Based upon various experimental evidence, the following observations were duly made by scientists as enumerated below. First one, John Needham in 1713 to 1781, precisely in the year 1749, while experimenting with raw meat being exposed to hot ashes, he observed meticulously the appearance of organisms that were not present at the initial stage. So John Needham performed an experiment precisely in 1749 while experimenting with raw meat that is being exposed to the hot ash, and he observed the appearance of microorganisms that were not present in the initial stage, and therefore inferred that the bacteria virtually originated from the raw meat itself. So, Needham stated that bacteria, that is, originated from raw meat itself. Next one is Lazaro in 1729 to 1799. He actually boiled the beef broth for a duration of 60 minutes and subsequently sealed the flask tightly. After usual incubation for a certain length of time, practically no microbes appeared. However, Needham never got convinced with Lazaro findings. So Lazaro performed one experiment, boiled beef broth for a duration of 60 minutes. Beef broth is boiled for 60 minutes and subsequently sealed the flask tightly. After usual incubation time period for a certain length of time, practically no micropsis appear, and Needham is never convinced with the Lazaro experiment. So, what is what is incubation exactly? Incubation incubation period means the period between exposure to an infection and the appearance of first symptoms. That is called as a incubation period. And vehemently insisted that the air happened to be an essential component to the process of spontaneous generation of microbes, and that it had been adequately excluded from the flask by sealing them precisely by the latter, and vehemently insisted that the air that is happened to be an essential component to the process of spontaneous generation of any microbes, and that had been adequately excluded from the flask by sealing them precisely. Next one is Franz Schu- Schulze and Theodore. These two scientists independently fully endorsed and justified the earlier finding of Spallanzani by allowing air to pass through strong acid solution into the boiled. That means both are the scientists. They fully endorse and justify the earlier finding of Both justify the earlier finding of Spellan-Zanasi Spellan-Zani by allowing air to pass through a strong acid solution into the boiled infusion and by passing the air into the flask via red hot tube. That is given in the figure 1a. Next one is second scientist is H. Schroeder in 1850 carried out a more logical and convincing experimental design by passing the air via cotton fibers so as to prevent the bacterial growth, and thus it ultimately initiated and gave a rise to a basic technique of plugging bacterial culture tubes with a cotton plugs, which technique being used still as to date. That means H. Schroeder in 1850 carried out a more logical and convincing experimental design. So in experiment, he passing the air via cotton fiber. So it prevent the bacterial growth, and thus it ultimately initiated and gave a rise to a basic technique of plugging bacterial culture tubes with a cotton plugs. That is given in figure 1b. Next one is figure 1c. In figure 1c, Pasteur, which designed a flask having a long and narrow outlet, neck outlet. Thus, the nutrient broth were duly heated in the above specially designed flask, whereby the air, untreated and unfiltered, may pass in or out, but the germs settle in a very goose neck. That means Pasteur designed one type of flask that having a long and narrow gooseneck outlet. So the nutrient both broth were duly heated in above specially designed flask, whereby the air untreated and unfiltered, which may pass in or out, but the germs that is settle in very goose neck, and therefore practically no microbes appear in the nutrient broth. Last one is John Tyndall in 1820 to 1893, figure number 1d. John Tyndall established and proved the fact that the dust actually contained and carried out the microbes. And he subsequently demonstrated beyond any reasonable doubt that in a particular situation whereby absolutely no dust was present, the sterile nutrient broth could remain free of any sort of microbial growth for an indefinite indefinite length of time. So John Tyndall, he established or proved that the dust that are actually contained and carried the microbes, and he subsequently demonstrated that any reasonable doubt that in the particular situation whereby no dust was present, the sterile nutrient broth could remain free of any microbial growth for an indefinite indefinite length of the time. That is the schematic diagram or figure number A, figure number B, figure number C, and figure number D. In figure number A, Sovan, Scovan heated sterile the air that passed via the glass tube to the culture flask. Figure 1B, in this stage, the filtered the air entering the culture flask via the cotton. In figure number C, Pasteur, which, which devised the simple gooseneck flask. And last one, Tyndall, figure number D, designed a dust-free incubation chamber. Thank you.